There you go. And there's
Hi there, Katie.
Hi.
Like your backdrop.
Yeah, it's tomorrow officially, but they've been celebrating all weekend
Okay.
here.
Yeah. Um, you asked me about art in the high desert, and I can only say good things, but of course I'm very biased, and you know that. We put together a great show. It's beautiful. We had way more people come. The hard parts are that we had to um, load in the same day that we opened. So that meant having to schedule the load in fairly early in the morning to get everybody on site. And it went really well. I was happy about that because that's the hardest part is getting us on site and unloaded. Um, I was really pleased with the number of people that turned out Friday night. We had great food vendors. We had a little martini cart and two other food carts that they just had more business than they knew what to do. So that means that next year they're more inclined to say, yes, we're going to come back. And getting the food vendors was amazingly hard. We thought we had someone last year, signed them up, and then when it gets closer to the date, they decide, well, we can't make it. We don't have enough employees to run the food cart and the business. So, or you're changing right up until the last minute. But people came through, and it was amazing. So that was good. The temperatures were warm, which is not good for wearables, but the feedback is that um, arts made sales, and that's good. Um, so we have a board meeting tonight. We're gonna go over some of those details. But I think we're gonna stick with it, Oscar. I think we're gonna do it again.
So
I do
come,
appreciate the fact that we are collecting more data to help us understand how people hear about the show and how they get there. And all that kind of information is valuable. So we're doing
can you
stuff
do
like
me
that.
can you do me humongous favor? Can you share that information, like how you get the information to Bonnie, or send it to me and I will give it to Bonnie. Either way,
What kind of information is this?
like how people find about the show, and how you guys are looking for that info, how you get that information.
Well,
I'm in the board.
I can tell you briefly, there was a couple ways right off we put together a survey and
Okay.
it was in the information booth. And so we also mailed out the survey to the artist. And I haven't looked at those, but those are the two very important avenues that you need to pursue. One is to have it right there in the information booth at the fair and handing it out to people and then collecting them. And of course, the survey that goes out to the artist, that's the other very valuable part. And it could be quite different than the patrons' responses. But the third part, which I have only just learned about, is that the Parks Department is able to give us data about how many people were on the site because they do some sort of ping from the cell towers.
Oh wow.
It, and, it's like, whoa, I would like to find out more about that. But that is the other way, is how many people are using their cell phones on the site. And now, granted, there were other activities along the river. So even if you were to average out the numbers, you still are getting some amazing data collected.
That's awesome. Well, that
you,
you hit two things that I was thinking. So
you could also hold an online auction like that.
yeah, I just little concerned with the board to kill more. That's all.
I'm having a little trouble hearing you, Oscar.
Well, I think that I'm having some issues with how the guild shows are going. Like, I know they're doing everything that they can, but it feels like something is missing.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to say anything until I did a whole year with them before I start opening my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can say for sure, you know, they're doing all the mechanics really well, but I don't know if the people are not showing up or what people think about the show or anything like that. And I would like that. Me personally, I don't care so much about the artists think about the presentation. I only want to know the sales.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to know what the public think about the show. Did they, even if they don't buy anything,
Right.
did the show was impress them? Did the show make them want to maybe next year I can come and buy something?
Mm-hmm. Well, the other one of the other questions we had is like, how many miles away were you from the show, or did you drive to get to the event? And of course,
Yeah.
a lot of people were local, which is what we're expected, but then there were people who were from out of town. And that's really good information too when you think about who to market to.
Yeah. So, but
It always amazes me, Oscar, in that, people come to the show and I'll ask them, hey, how'd you hear about the show? Well, I didn't know about it till I went downtown and there was a banner. It's just like, wow. Here we made,
Wow.
we made a huge effort with billboard and banners and several key places, and um, a lot of people just don't know. They just kind of stumble on it.
I know. But it's just like when I do a show, I do my email, I do the best presentation that I can. So I do everything that I can in my own.
Right.
If the show doesn't go well, at least I know it's not me.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out. But
Yeah. Yeah, I think that it's still an education process with most artists to promote the show themselves, to share it on their social media,
That's the way it should be.
but they don't,
they don't. They really don't.
Mhm.
or few of them do. Yeah.
And I keep asking people from different shows to please make a seminar how to the best practices promote in Facebook and Instagram, TikTok to help us. It's helping them also.
Mm-hmm. It may not be true with some of the younger artists. I certainly saw that with the emerging artists at St. Louis. They're a lot more social media savvy and more likely to rely on social media than it is the older generation of artists. Court, I love your background.
Thank you.
That's your new work, isn't it?
Yes, that's uh the biggest of the new work.
It's fantastic. Very dimensional.
Now I have to set up a booth again tomorrow. No, I think Thursday morning the weather's going to work, and then I may have to wait until tomorrow Thursday evening to photograph these so I can adjust the light, because I found that the different light on them makes them more or less dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
Real flat lighting, you don't see the dimensional part of it.
So where are you going to be this weekend?
Nowhere, hopefully.
Okay. Okay. You did Autumn and Art last weekend?
Yeah.
Okay. How'd that go?
I won an award, but sales were horribly slow.
Mm-hmm. They still have a patron dinner?
Yes, but they've moved it about half a block off. It used to be right in the middle of the show, and they moved it about half a block away from the show. But I talked to them before the show and asked them if that was going to be where it had been the year before, and they said yes. I said, then what about like a bingo game or a scavenger hunt to try and get people out with the artists? And so they did a bingo game, but only had about 6 people come by with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how successful it was.
Mm-hmm.
They did different bingo cards and they put a photo. Uh, they picked one of your jury images and put it on the bingo card along with your name.
Mm-hmm.
And then they made several of those. So everybody, um, obviously, they couldn't get all 80 some odd artists on one card. So they made several cards with different artists on them.
Mm-hmm.
At least it was a try.
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to get the patrons that want to be there for the dinner to support the arts actually come out and mingle with the artists to purchase art. That's the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think it worked real well.
Well, I'm not sure it worked the first couple years I was there either when they had the tent close to the site. I just felt like, it's a social event for them and they were supportive of that, but I didn't feel like they were remotely interested in looking at the work in the booths.
When it was, I had better luck talking to people and people stopping by when it was in the middle of the show.
Mm-hmm.
But now that it's off site, I mean, you'd see people walk in and walk out, and that was it. They
Yeah.
wouldn't stop.
Yeah, I understand. Okay. Barry, how are you doing?
Oh, thanks for waking me up. I'm doing okay. How you doing,
I'm recovering
Terry?
from my marathon of art fairs. I've got 2 to go.
Really?
Yep.
I haven't done anything since July. I'm trying to keep from being homeless. I need a studio and a place to live, and I have till December 1st.
Studio and a bed.
Yeah, I'll live in the studio. I don't care. Um, and thanks, Crystal. I'd say I woke up Crystal.
What did I do?
You donated to my GoFundMe.
Oh,
That was you, right?
I donated to you too, Barry.
Okay. I
Hey, that's a good
apologize
idea.
for
I think I'm going to earn some money that way.
I no, I need the money to move, to be able to do stuff. Well, I have some money, but there's a level which I don't want to go below. I'm thinking about the next 10 years. I'm not thinking about next week or 2 weeks. Um, so that's what I'm doing. So really, I'm doing 2 shows in October and I'm just selling work that I have. And if I sell everything, yippee, I won't have to move that stuff. So, yeah, I've been cleaning my studio. It's actually nice now. I actually don't want to leave. It's like, oh, there's room for stuff, you know? And, I'm like, I've been looking through the, like, here, Ceramics Monthly. This is 1974. 1970, 1976. So I'm looking in this one, 1976. This is Michael Cardew on the cover. And in it is an article about a show, an invitational show at the Detroit Institute of Arts that I actually did. It was curated by Peter Volkos, if you guys know who that is.
Mhm.
A legendary potter. And I'm looking at it, and they had award winners, but it was like like the Legends won the awards, Legends of Pottery, when Michigan was really strong in clay. And maybe it is now, I don't know, but it was then. And I'm looking at this and going, wait a minute, I got invited to do this show. I did this show. Um, and little anecdote, I was doing I was doing Raku then, still, 1976, and I didn't. It was summertime, so it was hard to have a studio because I was just at the university. So and it's hard to get clay, and I made the pieces out of red clay, And I quickly found out that if you try and raku red clay, they break up in thousands of pieces. So I'm firing my pots, and I get, I have all these pieces, and oh no. So, but one piece actually broke in two. So I glued the top onto the paste. I actually had a piece for the show, but it was a lesson that I I used the wrong clay and it all broke up. But I was a student; I didn't know what I was doing. So and 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 it reminded me of that looking through the magazines. When did this was this supposed to start at 4?
Yeah,
Oh,
relatively
okay.
speaking. I
Okay.
always get on early.
Yeah, well, I got on and everybody was on. There was already a conversation, so
Yeah.
I
Well,
thought
I'm in a
maybe I missed
different
something.
time zone, so I had to make sure I wasn't going to connect.
We're all in a different time zone.
All in a different time zone, right? Hard to
Hey,
keep track.
physicists think now that time is not a constant. It actually speeds up and slows down
Oh boy.
and goes sideways. Uh, but you know what? And it almost makes sense because you wouldn't be able to tell. You know how you say, "Boy, that today went really fast." Well, maybe it did for everybody, so you don't notice it. Or like, oh man, this took forever.
Well, it always takes forever to drive from Oregon to St. Louis, and it takes less time to drive home. So maybe you're right.
So yeah, so that's kind of a thing.
That the last hour of a show is always really long.
Depends on the show.
I know.
Well, it's always fun to be doing, you do art shows for so long. Like, I think this is like my 17th year, and I felt like I just threw everything out the window that I learned that I've been done and set up for the last 7 or 8 years. I just pitched it out the window and started all over again.
Like what?
Everything. How my booth's laid out, how my van's laid out, how stuff fits in my van, sales, where I sit in my booth, all of it just went out the window with the new work because everything's totally different.
Isn't that a continual process? Like where to
Yes.
sit?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. Mhm.
I went from having this nice, comfortable space to sprout behind the booth to now sitting in front of the booth.
what did that do for you?
Well, with the new work is so big, people don't need to walk into the booth. Before they would walk into the booth and walk around the booth and look at everything real closely. They don't need to do that now because the work is big. It's huge. And so if I want to talk to anybody, I have to sit out front.
I like sitting out front, especially
And
when they walk in the booth.
In front of your neighbor's booth, right?
Not necessarily.
and like fitting stuff in the van. Got ready to go to St. Louis, quickly realized that the new work wasn't going to fit in the van the way the van was laid out.
Oh.
So then I had to take out stuff that was bolted, shelves that were bolted down in the van, and rearrange things in the van and leave some stuff here um, to have room. And we barely got all our clothes and stuff in to go to St. Louis.
Mhm.
So, it's just this whole learning process. And now then, unlike most photographers, I'd been able to get by with a single booth. Now that I'm looking at, seriously think about going with a double booth.
Wow. There's a lot of tent.
That's a photography thing. It seems like a lot of photographers have double booths.
So do a lot of painters that do big pieces.
Oh yeah, that too.
I think artwork needs to put double booth. And none of it looks too cramped.
You know,
And
know,
it doesn't mean that you're going to have better sales. It's just it's going to be people going to feel more comfortable in the booth, looking at the work.
my
well, if,
favorite size. My
even
favorite
if I
size is
go, even if I go with a double booth, um, I can only put maybe 3 more pieces in.
If you want to start with a corner first, because a corner booth will give you the same amount of space to hang
Yeah.
than a double booth. Inland double booth. Let me specify that. Oh my God. Tired, hungry, didn't have breakfast, didn't have lunch.
On the road again, huh, Oscar?
No,
Oscar?
it's working today. I did 2 installations today. One was hanging 3 pieces and plaster wall and staircase. And the last piece didn't align with which was the easiest one of the 3, didn't align with the other 2. And it took me 30 extra minutes to fix it.
Mm.
And then the lady just moved from St. Louis. They told me 8 pieces, 10 pieces, and turned out to be 20. So it was there longer than I wanted. I need to stop by tomorrow and get power protein bars. When this happens, I don't feel sick.
Mm-hmm.
Oscar, I thought about buying getting a double booth space, but setting my single booth up in the middle of it and having 2 outside walls.
The problem is you only can, I thought about that originally myself, but if you work it, I think I can get away with that myself.
Unless
But
it rains.
Again, it's not a good idea. It looks really good when you can do the island, but then you have to deal with the Diane French problems.
Just get
Yeah,
another.
what I would do is set up my booth instead of in the middle, set it off to one side, and then basically extend my booth out. It would be a 10 by 20, but it would not have a top over half of it. And then I wouldn't have the problem that Diane has.
Yeah. So that's what I went to the double, the way I'm doing it. Gasparilla sent an email today, and it threw me off a little bit. At first, I thought I got affected to the show, and then it's just a weird email.
what did it say?
I will have to look at it. I read it like sometime at 10 o'clock. Thank you for something applying or something like that, and we're looking forward to see you. And I got well, it's more like an affixed letter, but it's not. So we see.
That one lets us know early, like on September 30th. Coconut Grove deadline to get the applications in is the 29th, and Gasparilla, which is 2 weeks later, their results are on the next day. Kind of weird.
Well, that means they're probably jurying them as they come in.
So, what do you think of when a show calls you and asks you to apply?
Well, but are they asking you to apply because they want you in the show or they want a jury fee?
Well, Yeah, that's the question. I didn't answer the phone. I just read the because I didn't well, I didn't answer the phone and I read the the voicemail afterwards and they said it was Fort Myers and they said, "We see you haven't applied yet. We want you to apply." So do you think they just want my money or do you think
Yeah.
Absolutely.
no, they want me to be in the show. Or do you think they're so like
But who's
nobody's
they?
applying?
They have a new director now.
Yeah. He was there yet last year too, I was told.
Okay.
You like to put your foot in your mouth. That's the only thing I'm going to say.
I didn't put my foot in my mouth. And if I did, I don't care. Oscar, I don't care anymore. Really. Hey, I'm just going to be me. If they like it, they like it. I'm not going to make improvements, anything, because they don't listen. I don't care.
Why are you saying that?
What's that?
Why are you saying that?
Because it's frustrating to go, for 30 years to be making comments and then, and then not getting, they don't change things. So I just feel better,
Yeah.
not saying anything. I have
Yeah,
atrial fibrillation, so I don't want to create undue stress for myself. All I'm going to do is apply to the shows. If I get in, I get in. If I don't, I don't.
that's all
As
we
it
can.
should be.
And I'm playing the Florida shows without having a studio or a place to work. So, yeah, so it'll force me to actually deal with those things.
Almost home.
Well, I'm ready for next year. I have my booth shot, my trim line is repaired, my displays have all been detailed and repainted, ready to go.
Where'd you get your booth shot?
Hey, it looked nice.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Larry. I really liked what you did with it.
Yeah, I thought it looked nice.
I finally have a space to do that because I have like a fenced in backyard and a big patio. So I could never set my booth up in my yard before where I used to live. It was not safe.
Hey, Larry,
Yeah.
did you get any comments about last week's evaluation online?
Not online. I just got a couple of emails.
Yeah, yeah.
There
I
was,
didn't mean online like getting comments online. I meant,
yeah,
we did the thing online.
yeah. There's a new painter that didn't have a booth picture, and he submitted two different bodies of work with just 5 images. And he was really disappointed that they reacted so negatively about the booth, about the lack of a booth.
I don't think listen, he should be thanking us. What is he talking about?
Well, where,
We told him what he needed to hear, which was,
well,
if
he
you don't
knows
have a
that. I
booth
mean,
shot, wait a minute, if you don't have a booth shot, it's
he's
gonna,
only applied to one or two shows so far.
well, he'll learn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have a mock jury?
Last week.
Gosh, I guess I was late.
Well, you can still send me your money.
Yeah. Well, actually, I need new images too. I don't know.
Send me
Right.
your jewelry.
I don't have anything really to send right now. I have to make something.
But you've been photographing your own, right?
No, I haven't had any in a while. Cole Roger did my last ones, And but for like my website and stuff, I photograph my own.
Yeah.
It's bad though. I'm not good at it. I can't ever do it for my jury shots.
I would just hire Larry if I was you.
What?
I would just hire you.
You did. I did Oscar's booth also,
Yeah.
He did mine also.
and Barry's, and Karen's a while back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's the first time I ever shot it myself and sent you a picture. I was happy with how it came out.
Oh, yeah.
Last time I hired a neighborhood photographer and well, you remember Larry because you edited it for me, but she shot it kind of like in this moody kind of like faded out kind of look, and I said that's just not going to work.
Now,
Yeah.
I mean, how many people know what jury images are? How many
Yeah.
photographers?
Specifically to our industry.
Right.
I once had a professor from Northern Michigan University use their top of the line equipment to shoot it and set it up and everything. And they did it the old school method, which is float the piece in space with no shadows, no highlights, no nothing. And afterwards, I
On white.
complained to her, and she got pissed at me. It was funny.
And she shot it on white, right?
That's right. I never use those images anyway. Nowadays, you can cut the piece off the photo and put it into a proper background, and you can light it artificially in Photoshop.
Yeah. But the shadows look fake.
The only people that would know that would be photographers, I think.
I get home, the only thing that they want to do, waiting for the tour and run out.
Where's the white cat?
I don't know where Snow went. Let me see if it's still on the staircase.
Or what kind of tent do you have?
Me?
Yeah.
I have a trim line.
Okay.
I'm thinking about, I forgot to go down and look at John Carrington's heavy duty pop up that he's using.
Is it the extreme canopy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw somebody on YouTube was they were actually discussing like how they do a double booth and how they run like gutters between the two.
That's Evan.
Evan,
Yeah.
a nice looking tent.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also had a conversation with a show director that said they don't care how heavy duty they are, they still don't allow them in their shows because of the way the wind the way the center peak is affected by the wind as compared to the dome tops of the trim lines and others.
Yeah, but Evan said also in that video that he has still the light on because of that. And some shows don't let him use it.
Yep.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, we have a light dome. I think we might buy a second one because Mary Ann's painting some big yard. So we were thinking about a double booth.
Also, the other stream light, the canopy stream canopy takes a lot of space in your van
Oh yeah.
because you cannot collapse it that much.
The other problem I think I would have with those is because I use cable hangers and hang everything from the frame, I would probably have to end up buying pro panels, and that just takes up more room in the van.
You can also
Yep.
use the mesh panels.
What's that, Oscar?
You can use the mesh panels.
Yeah, I don't think I want to do that.
Yeah. I'm home.
It was fun learning how to um was fun learning how to flush mount stuff, work with different materials, coat my pieces on all the new works, the stuff I never done before. I used to just traditionally frame it. Now I've gone to something that's totally different. So a lot more work to produce these pieces.
How does Don Ament do his?
What's that?
How does Don Ament do his? He has really tall pieces.
Um, John sets up this massive booth. He's got pro panels that extend out behind his booth. I mean, at this show, he had effectively had something like a 20 by 30 or 20 by 20, 20 by 40 booth set up. The problem I'm finding is that is not the is the depth of my pieces. Now then, I've got pieces that are 6 inches deep, and that adds up in a hurry.
Until they sell. And then you have all that room in the van afterwards.
I had several key pieces sell at St. Louis and Art in the High Desert and Art in the Pearl. And now I have to redo my entire display for the next show. And that's always a bit of a challenge, a bit of a puzzle.
Hey,
It's
Karen.
it's a happy dilemma, right?
Hey, Karen, how were those West Coast shows uh, this year
For me, who does wearables,
for everybody? Your
I
general.
think there are people who are selling quite well.
Uh-huh.
And mine's been a little bit, it's always harder if it gets hot. For me, it just slows down, but I make contacts and I have sales. St. Louis was great. It was absolutely great. That's the reason we make the trek. Um, we already know that it's just different than it was before COVID. So my expectations has been changed, I think, about what I expect. But I still work hard. The reason I'm here is to do the sales. It's not just for the glory. So I work at it. But the one thing I have learned over the years is that when I do these shows, even if I don't go home with, buckets of money, I have opportunities, I have connections, and they are starting to open doors that are unexpected, and that's a good thing. So I didn't really answer your question, but St. Louis was marvelous. Art in the Pearl was pretty good. Art in the High Desert was hot for me, but other people had great sales. And And that's really encouraging. I also did a small local show and had sales, which is like I stick out like a sore thumb, but it's hometown. And I have Plaza next weekend, so we'll see what happens. We had one artist who canceled Art in the High Desert because they sold out at the last Bellevue Art Museum show, which was unusual. I was happy for the artist, and missed them not coming to the show, but happy to hear that they had done so well. So again, in the Northwest, the Bellevue Art Museum show has gone away. And it used to be one of the largest regional shows that would attract artists from other places. And then they would make a effort to, get Art in the Pearl, Art in the High Desert, and then the Bellevue show lined up with some others. That's
Yeah,
what we got.
I was mostly wondering about the two shows that you did, and then the two shows at the beginning of August, Sun Valley, whatever.
I didn't do Sun Valley. I didn't do Park City this year.
Yeah, because I've never done those because it's too far. But since I'm being shut out of that part of the Midwest, I want to, I want to do some better shows.
What do you
So
mean you're being shut out?
not as in not getting in.
Oh, I see.
But somebody won't be a good show for you, Barry. That's it's a it's a big ticket item show. You cannot do that one. I can tell you that for sure. You're going to lose your pants in that show.
That's not going to stop me, Oscar.
Which show is that, Oscar?
Somebody is a high ticket show. Like if you depend on volume to make your money, that's not a good show to go. But
I'm not sure I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't either. And hopefully by then my work will be not recognizable. It'll be so different
but
that
what I mean is,
I know what you mean.
so what it's a really low traffic show where you have to have person buying a bunch of if you depend people to buy a bunch of pieces to make your booth and your expenses, that's not a show. That's a show with high ticket items is what it sells. And it's you maybe get 2, 3, 4 sales and that's it.
Well,
So
the way I look at it
that's
is
what I mean.
there's two shows, one after another, and if you go do the one, it doesn't cost that much more to do the other one. So as long as I'm out there, that's how I look at it. Assuming that I will get in. I don't know if I'll get in.
But Park City is not that much different than somebody. The only thing that you have more traffic,
That's all right.
you know.
I'm planning on having totally different work. Well, for one thing, I'm not buying any raku clay, and if I move out of Marquette, I won't be doing raku. In fact, I'm tired of doing raku. I don't want to do it anymore, so I'm switching to another type of clay.
Well, guys, I have some board meeting stuff I got to do. I'm going to have to say goodbye. Nice to see all your faces again. I'll
Yes,
talk to you once I get home in October. Going to be an
yeah.
interesting trip home, hopefully before the snow flies.
There's a slight chance I may come up, just walk the show, Karen.
It'd be great to see you, Court. Really would. Yeah.
I was just out of it at St. Louis. I was struggling to get everything done. It was ugly.
I think we were all stressed.
So,
So if doing the Plaza show, it's my first time. So any feedback or suggestions you can give me will be welcomed.
all right.
All right. See you then.
All
Bye
right,
for now.
Karen.
Hi, Karen.
Bye-bye.
Court, were you cranky or you were in a good mood? Because you were
I was
stressed.
exhausted.
Yeah.
because I've been up for 3 days straight.
Ooh, I can't do that anymore.
Crystal, I got a bone to pick up with you.
Why, what?
You don't say goodbye anymore. When you're done with the show, you just run away.
Well, the thing is, I like I want to say goodbye, but I never know if I'm going to be interrupting you because you're usually like in the middle of doing something, and so I don't want to, bother you.
Uh-huh.
That's a good reason.
So now I guess this is permission to bother you.
Yeah.
Oh, every chance you get, you have to take advantage of that.
Oh
I
my
was
goodness.
I was in the van and out of Birmingham in under an hour. I think it was right at the hour mark. I was driving away. It felt so good.
Oh my goodness. I got out of there in 2 hours like I normally do. So,
It took us forever to tear down in St. Louis. Did a little better last weekend here in Wichita, but I still had to stop because there was a generator not directly behind me, but a couple tents down. And the guy, in order to get out, needed to drive through where I was. So we ended up picking up my tent that was half torn down and moving it so he could get out with a generator.
wow.
Crystal, how was Birmingham?
Um, it was all right. I'm finding that most of the guild shows, with the exception of Ann Arbor, the patrons are just too old for my work.
What do you
Um,
Hmm?
but I did get a large commission yesterday from Birmingham right away, so that was really good.
Oh, that's good. What do you do?
I do acrylic paintings of really colorful animals wearing clothes.
Oh,
So it doesn't appeal to like a older traditional crowd.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm from Ann Arbor, and so I've always done both Birmingham shows. This was the first year I didn't because I actually moved out of the area. So anyway.
So you don't live here in Ann Arbor anymore?
No, no, it was the Birmingham shows for me were always pretty nice and reliable. One time this September show was horrible, but other than that, they're usually like good enough. But now I live in Virginia, so I'm far away from everything
Oh,
I'm doing. Everything just costs so much the shows just cost so much more for me to do.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't a terrible show. It just,
Mhm.
won't rank as one of my, best ones. So it was
Yeah, yeah,
fine.
that customer base is pretty old.
I'm doing one in Ferndale next weekend. I've never done it before, but I've been recommended many times to try it with my work. So hopefully,
Hey, Ferndale.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people really like that show.
What?
I did one time and it
Funky
was
Ferndale?
good for me, but that I mean that was so long ago. You can't even compare, but a lot of people like that show.
I People kept recommending it to me, I think because they said that more, I don't know if contemporary, I don't think contemporary is the right word, but just, you don't have to have monochromatic, abstract art that looks good over the sofa to do well, sort of there.
Yeah. Well, they have the DIY street fair going on at the same time, so that
Um,
would attract like younger like newer collectors who would be interested in funky paintings. What it sounds like your animals with clothes would be good.
yeah, the commission I got from the Birmingham show, I'm going to be painting a black lab wearing a Harry Potter Slytherin cloak all dressed up like a wizard. So that's the sort of thing I do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the DIY street fair, you might check it out while you're over there. But they run until like midnight. Their hours are crazy. Like I would never be able to do that.
Oh,
But
wow. So
but I
oh, go ahead.
I just wondered if they would be if people would go to both, or if people may, certain people go to one or the other, but they're right next to each other, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll find out. They
Mhm.
changed the hours this year. The director was saying something about they used to close earlier, but because of the DIY show, they're gonna Funky Ferndale is gonna be open till 9 on
Oh,
Friday and Saturday.
I wouldn't like that, but there is no way I could do a show that and stay open until midnight. There's just no way. So at
Um,
least not that.
yeah,
Midnight.
I don't mind 9 o'clock, but I wouldn't do midnight.
No,
Yeah,
thank you.
I know.
They had a
Are you
really
talking about going till midnight?
There's a show in Michigan that goes until midnight. I used to
bring a
do
cot.
an indie craft fair that went until midnight. But I
Maybe
was like,
if they open at noon, like the next day, I could
yeah,
do it.
Big deal. I picture myself bringing a cot and sleeping and with a note saying, if you want something, wake me up.
Well, they can do it like a Utah. They start at 11 o'clock in the morning and goes all the way to 9 o'clock at night. But that give you the morning to sleep late, and they give you a list of restaurants that are open past 9 o'clock also. It's such a unique idea.
I think the worst one was Oklahoma City, where they used to do breakfast, and the first day of the show, you had to be there at like 7, open by 7:30 or some ungodly hour in the morning,
Yeah.
and then go till like 9 o'clock that night.
yeah.
Well, at one time, a lot of buyers showed up at 7:30 in the morning. But every year, I did it 7 years in a row, and every year it would get worse and worse and worse. And after the third year, nobody was showing up at 7:30 in the morning. It was you could roll bowling balls down the street. So, you know.
I'm just curious about one thing.
I think I'm going to apply again to Oklahoma City with a new work.
I might go back.
That's the one show that I didn't even know if I should apply.
I mean, either it's the last week in April or the first week in May. And I think it's just right before Brookside, but um, I
Right after Fort
Brook,
Worth.
Brookside's the only show I've never gotten into ever.
I've never gotten into Brookside either.
Yeah, but your work is good. Apparently, my work sucks. Well, that's other people's opinion. Yeah. Specifically, jurors.
I've done it 3 times now.
Brookside,
Yeah,
do you like it?
I love it.
Yeah. The problem is Kansas City's a really good market for me, and they won't let me in anywhere anymore.
You could try the Lee Summit. You could try Prairie Village.
Yeah, but the timing is you go to Texas in April, and then on the way back, you hit you hit that show. You hit Brookside, and then Um, Art on the
Laumeier,
Square?
Laumeier,
No, no way. Lomare was a one and done. No, uh, Belleville.
right, Belleville, and
Yeah,
Old Capitol also.
never did it. I did it. Oh, take that back. I did it a long time ago. I really only want to do the best shows, so getting in can be limiting.
Why? I want to do shows where I'm going to sell the most. That's what I want to do. I want to do the shows where I sell the most.
Okay, you asked me why? Because I sell better at those shows because I'm surrounded by artwork that I respect. Because the artists that do those better shows understand art fair etiquette, so there's no problems with people putting their stuff, gaming the systems, edging it out into the middle. Um,
I don't. For me, it has nothing to do with the other artists. It has to do with the buyers. That's it. That's what I care about. The buyers.
well, there's better buyers at the better shows.
Not necessarily.
Well, for you, but for me, I'm talking about.
Has anybody ever done the Virginia Highlands show? It's in my hometown.
You know,
It's like a 10-day long show, and you can be in some of it or all of it, or
ask John Gunther.
yeah, I need to introduce myself to him because gosh, it would just be so awesome if that could work because it's in my hometown. But it looks pretty bad. Like it looks really crafty.
Which might not make a difference.
Yeah, a lot of times it doesn't. I think I'll just try it. Well, I gotta get going, but uh, thanks for um thanks for doing my booth shot, Larry, and good to see everyone.
Yeah,
Yep. See
Kristen.
you.
I'm glad you got on, Kristen.
Thank
Bye.
you. I'll talk to you later.
All
All right,
right.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I drove from Birmingham back to Chicago Sunday night. I cannot do that. I really need to stay an extra night in there and just drive the next day. Uh, I made it with no problem, but the next day, Monday, I was just trash.
When did you finish packing?
7 o'clock.
So did it take you more than 4 hours to get back to Chicago?
It's 5 hours drive, but
Hmm.
you get an hour because of the change of the zone.
Hmm.
Uh, no, it took me 4 hours actually. It was 4 hours, and yeah, I was here by 10. But still, um, you start the show at 9 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock in the morning. It's a long day. It's just it's way too long for me. So I can do it, but the next day it's I'm don't want to do anything. I mean nothing. If somebody looking me in the wrong direction, I would beat them up with a baseball bat. That's how crabby I was. So
I thought it was because the Cincinnati Reds lost lost games that they should have won to be in the that an opportunity to be in the wild card race, and they blew every opportunity, which is
oh,
frustrating.
that's the Reds for you. I'm not in shock. So
Yeah.
my next show is Carmel. I'm debating if I want to redo how I load the band. Uh, so it's going to be. I'm going to have to think about it. I'm trying to put on. I don't want to be crawling to put some things into the metal prints. But at the same token, I don't want to be overcrawling to put the heavy boxes inside neither. So I will have time to think about it. So I also need to go and pick up a basket for the trail for putting in the hedge. So when I go to Florida, I can bring both tents with me, not just one. But we'll see. Mm,
Hey, does anybody here know which shows do not allow any pop-up tents, even the better ones?
Naples,
At one, I don't know if it's still in effect. Columbus,
Okay.
Columbus,
there was
uh,
a good West
anything in
Coast show.
Omaha,
What?
anything in Nebraska, they don't allow you to put pop-up tents.
Court mentioned it,
Uh,
so Court, which ones were you talking about?
I would say there's some shows in Florida don't let you do that either.
Yeah, which one do you
And
think? Not anything I do. I think you could do it.
Ah,
I know Naples doesn't let you do. That's the only one that I know for sure. And I
Yeah.
think no, Howard Allen says he wants pro panels for in the walls or solid wall. They don't want mesh panels or grid walls or anything like that. But it should be in the prospectus of the applications, Just read the app. So, but that 10 is heavy also. Very. It's not as
It's 90 pounds, but you don't need when I did Birmingham in the spring, the guy next to me had the next one down. Not the top of the line one, but the next one.
mm,
The
mhm,
700 series instead of the 900. And it
mhm.
was just as good because it had the double walled legs,
Uh,
double reinforced. So and it's a little lighter. I think it's 25 pounds lighter.
I gotta go, folks. I've got some stuff to take care of today.
yeah, and I got a friend coming over in a little bit.
yeah. So I will talk to you guys later.
Next
Be good.
week.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Have a
Later.
good one.